Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me in the studio. It's beautiful outside. It was like, that's the first thing I learned when we moved here, right? I just never trust the weather. But I figured we make the call, the night before instead of scrambling in the morning. So thanks for making your way into the studio. It's always nice to get a little break in here anyway, and just a little bit of a different vibe. So happy New Year to each and every one of you guys. I invite you just to approach any resolutions or goals you have. I was just talking with Tino about that. Just approach with kindness and ease for yourself and a little bit of compassion. We can put a lot of pressure on ourselves at this time of year, make those high expectations for ourselves. So best thing you can do is just carve out that time for yourself to quiet your mind, get your body moving, get out into nature, unplug, and reconnect kind of what's going on in here. So every day is a chance to start anew. So if you fall off that goal or resolution or whatever, just be kind to yourself and get back on the horse and take it easy. All right, we're going to start on our backs this morning. We're going to do a little bit of a slower practice this morning. We'll get moving and all that good stuff, but I figure, as we ease into the new year, we'll ease in with our bodies and our minds. So just go ahead and bend the knees and bring them up into the chest. And before you start to draw them in, just relax a little bit. So just grab right around the shins. And we're just going to do a little bit of breath work with the stretches here. So take a deep breath in, relax into the ribs, the side body. Fill up, feel the diaphragm lift up into the rib cage. And then on the exhale, nice and slow. As you exhale, then start to draw knees in towards the chest. Pull your thighs in towards the ribs. And just using that little bit of pressure to deflate the rib cage, squeeze the belly down and in, and then relax, release, open up, fill up. So knees kind of soften a little bit, breathe into those side ribs again, expand, and then exhale, slowly contract, knees back into the chest. You can pull your tailbone back down to the mat just a little bit, stretch out the low back. Inhale, relax, fill up, expand the rib cage, big breath down into the belly. Exhale, gentle contraction, pull the knees in, squeeze out the air, deflate the belly. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, back off a little bit. Find space. And exhale, contract back. All right, let's take a happy baby here so the heels can come up to the sky, flex and draw the toes down. We're just going to do that same thing. So either grab for the ankles, grab for the calves, maybe if you can get those outer edges of the feet. Relax everything. Fill up, take a deep breath back into the belly. Expand through the side ribs. Breathe into the back side of the body. When you get to the top of that inhale, on the exhale, start to draw the knees down towards the armpits. Using that exhale and that stretch to contract, empty out the belly. A little gentle rock side to side if you like. And one more of those. Inhale, fill up, expand. Find ease with each breath coming into the body. Exhale, contract, knees down. Draw your tailbone back down. Feel that stretch go through the low back. Start to soften the inner thighs. And let's do one more breath, just like that. Inhale, fill up. Relax, soften. And blowing up the balloon. Exhale, contract. Squeeze it out. Squeeze your lower ribs down and in. Nice, slow exhale all the way out. All right, let's go ahead and take thread the needle. So we're going to take that left ankle right across the top of the right knee. Reach through and grab a hold of that shin. Same thing here. Relax. Big breath into the belly. On the exhale, start to draw that left knee in towards the chest. Feeling that stretch go through that outer right hip. drawing it in as comfortable as you can make it, adding a little bit of tension, but not too much. Just getting warmed up. One more breath, relax, release the left knee a little bit. Breathe into the belly. Exhale, left knee comes back in, stretch out to that right hip. And one more just like that. So just try to keep that rhythm throughout the practice. Each inhale, you're opening up, finding space and expansion. And each exhale, finding that contraction point, feeling the stretch with the breath, with that exhale. And then softening again on an inhale. Let's do one more breath here. Nice, slow exhale in. Contract, stretch. Let it all go. And go ahead and release. We'll just switch sides. Left ankle across top of right knee. Thread the needle through. Relax. Expand. Invite ease in with that breath. Fill up. Nice, slow exhale as you draw that right knee in towards the chest, feeling that stretch on that left hip. Contract the ribs, squeeze it all out. One more cycle, just like that. Exhale, draw it in. A little deeper, maybe on the exhale, you're starting to extend it out a little bit more as you squeeze and contract in. Inhale, fill back up. Let's do one more breath there. Exhale, let it all go. As you get into letting go of the stretch, starting to let go of thoughts coming into your practice, into the present moment. Let all that go. We're going to make our way up to a hero position. So you can either just roll up and down the length of your spine if you like. Just roll over to one side. And when you're ready, bring yourself all the way up. All right, you can pad up the knees if you need a little extra. Option here to maybe tuck the toes under to feel a little bit more stretch through the arches of the feet. Sit back on your heels. Maybe you can grab a hold of those heels, or just go ahead and bring the palms to the low back and then just pull your low back in a little bit. Lift up through the crown of your head. Open up through your chest and kind of pull your wing bones back in towards each other. Take a nice big inhale here. Deep breath in, find that length and lift. Exhale, if you grab a hold of those heels, just pull them in a little bit. So feeling that contraction point with the exhale. Let's do one more cycle just like that. Exhale, let it go. It's okay on the knees, maybe untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Sit back a little bit more. Roll shoulders up, back and down. Lift up through the chest. If it's okay in the knees, maybe lifting up the knees, just feeling a little extra stretch in the tops of the feet. If your knees are talking to you, don't go this low. You can also just be up kind of high, pressing your tops of your feet into the mat. More breath here. Nice, slow exhale out. Let's go ahead and lift up onto those knees. Inhale, find extension up through the side ribs. Bring the hips forward a little bit. Gentle back bend if you like. Deep breath in here. On the exhale, we're just going to reach back with a nice little twist. Pulse a few times. Inhale back to center. Lift up. Exhale off to the second side. Let's do that two more times. Inhale up. Lift up. Deep breath in. Exhale, contract and twist. Inhale one more time. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale up one last time. Deep breath at the top.
Lift up through those fingertips, deep breath. Exhale, cactus the arms, open the heart space. Draw your elbows down and back as much as you can and bring your hips forward a little bit. One more breath here. On the exhale, we're just going to draw the nose down and towards the knees, maybe reaching back for those heels again, or just palms to the low back. Press the crown of the head down and in and pull those heels in, so feeling that stretch throughout the spine. Nice counter pose to those back. Nice big breath into the back side of the body here, in through the ribs. On the exhale, pull your ribs in towards the knees, your nose down and towards your knees. Contract a little bit more, squeeze it all out. Start to bring yourself up. Let's go ahead and release the feet, come into a tabletop position here. Just a little rock side to side of those hips. Just gonna wag your tail back and forth. All right. We're gonna bring the toes to touch and the knees out a little bit. We're not gonna go into a full child's pose. We're just gonna do a little bit more hip movement. So maybe knees not as wide as you would in a normal child's pose. Hands out in front of you, fingertips spread nice and wide. Just gonna pull your hips back towards your heels as much as you can. And then we're just going to bring our hips forward as much as you can. So you'll find your spot. You might be more in kind of a tabletop. If you can start to bring the hips down a little bit, lift up through your chest. You can let the hips descend down any amount, and then exhale all the way back. I'm just going to do this nice and slow, moving with the breath. Pull back. Inhale, bring you forward, nice and slow. Crown of the head comes up. Deep breath in there. Exhale. Inhale, forward. Deep breath in. Hips come down any amount. Exhale. Inhale, forward. If it's okay on the knees, you can also bring your heels up. It's going to add a little bit more intensity. Gentle back bend here. Open the heart space. Deep breath in. Exhale back, heels come down. Do more of these at your own pace. You find a spot that just feels really good. You want to hang out there for another cycle of breath, go ahead and do so. Everybody's mobility is going to be a little bit different, so just find your edge, breathe into that space. One more round wherever you are. Exhale back, and let's drop into a child's pose here. So walk those fingertips forward, stretch out through the front of the chest, the pectorals, descend the heart space down, and let the head drop. You get a nice big breath into your hips, into your heart. Let your heart space just drop down to the ground. We're gonna do a lot of hip opening this morning. Yeah, approach with ease, approach with compassion, let go of expectations. Soften and surrender with the breath. One more cycle here, nice and easy. Nice, gentle exhale. Squeeze those lower ribs down and in. Let go of the breath. Let go of any grip of the mind. Any other grip you're holding physically in the body. Soften, surrender. Start to make your way back up to tabletop. Nice and easy. We'll go ahead and bring the knees back underneath the hips. Just bring everything back into alignment. Tuck those toes under. Walk the hands forward. Push it back down. Dog. Nice and easy. Start to stretch out through ankles, descending heels down, up through the calves. Work it out nice and slow. Check in with those arms, make sure those elbows aren't splitting out too much. So we'll draw in of the triceps towards the ears. Let's go ahead and take left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Really press out through that heel. Bend the knee and just let that heel fall over to the right side. The weight of your heel open up the hip. And then we're just going to do that a few times. We're going to extend the left leg back and up, come onto the tiptoes on the right foot. On the exhale, descend the right heel down and let that left heel fall back over to the right. One more time. Inhale, extend out through the left leg, tippy toes on the right foot. Exhale, extend down, drop the heel, relax. One more though. Deep breath at the top, finding that length. Exhale, relax. And left leg down. Pause if you'd like to by dropping down to your knees. Otherwise, right foot up to the sky. Press out through the heel. Let the heel fall over to the left. Straighten out through right leg. Find extension and length. Big breath in there. Exhale, let it go. Extend down through the left heel. One more of those, just like that. Breathe in. Descend down. Exhale. Relax for a moment. Hips come square, both feet down. Nice big breath in here. Start to walk up towards the hips. Nice and slow. Stretch out the calves on the way there. Halfway lift. Press into the shins or tops of the thighs. Reach forward out over the edge of your mat, the crown of your head. Just kind of shift the weight back into heels and then back into toes. Feel that stretch through your calves, up through the hamstring. Take a big breath in here. On the exhale, hinge and fold down. Grab the backs of the calves. Start to pull your ribs back towards your thighs. Deep breath in. Back off a little bit. Fill up through the ribs. Exhale. Head goes down. Contract. Inhale halfway. Creating length and space for the breath to come in. Exhale, hinge and fold. Contract. Using the shape of the body. Bring the breath in. Using the shape of the body to let all the air come out of the body. All right, root to rise. Bend the knees. Start to roll yourself up. Nice and slow. Inhale. Arms out to the side. Lift all the way up. Deep breath in. Find extension and lift. Drop in your hips and heels. Deep breath in here. Exhale. Palms to heart center. Inhale. Arms out. Press the fingertips back. You're going to lift all the way up. And then exhale just back into heart center. We're going to do that a few times. So really big movements in the shoulders. Inhale. Lengthen and lift. Exhale down and lift. Inhale, lift. Big circles through the shoulders. Exhale down. So 2 more of those. 1 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drive. Just going in the opposite direction. Inhale brings you all the way up. Fingertips come out. Let them come down on the exhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. So you're kind of bringing a little bit more opening in the chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, up, out. Squeeze the shoulders, open the chest. Let's go 2 more of those. 1 more. Inhale, open 1 more time, nice and wide, fingertips back, deep breath into the heart space here. On the exhale, we're going to go ahead and cross the right arm over the left. Work your fingertips around the shoulder blades as much as you can. Draw your chin into the chest. Inhale, open. Big breath in. Exhale, opposite elbow over. Chin to chest. Inhale, open. Right elbow across the top. Inhale, open. And left elbow across the top. Stay for 1 breath here. contract, squeeze it in. Start to bring the head back up. We're going to keep that right arm across, and we're just going to take the left arm across. We're going to take the right arm in front of the face here. Start to draw that arm over and pull your shoulder, your left shoulder in the opposite direction. So you feel a nice stretch going through the side and the back of that shoulder. Breathe into that space. Deep breath in here. Again, using breath. So on the exhale, you're contracting a little bit more, drawing it across, stretching in a little bit more. Stay here if you like. Let's go ahead and bind it up. So bring the palms together if you can. If not, still getting the same thing with this stretch. Inhale up, lift up through those elbows, pull them away from the body, hand up. Take a nice big breath in. On the exhale, draw chin into the chest, contract. Inhale back up, deep breath in. This time, if you like, a little bit lower. Take your elbows out and start to hinge and fold all the way down. Drawing your forearms down towards your shin. Drawing the elbows down towards the ground. Take a big breath into the back here. Exhale, contract, bring the elbows in towards the ribs a little bit more. Bend those knees, bring yourself all the way up. Release the spine, give a little shake out. Inhale, open up one more time. Deep breath in. Exhale, crossing the left arm over the top. We're just going to do that same stretch. So right arm in front of the face. Start to kind of draw that right arm across the body, feeling that stretch. Other arm or other arm. You guys are on the right side, yeah? Okay, very good, thank you. Big breath in here, lifting up through your crown, lengthen your spine. A little bit deeper on the stretch on the exhale. Stay into that stretch or bind it up if you like. Inhale, lift up through those elbows, pull them out and up. Deep breath in, fill up. Exhale, elbows come down and then chin to chest. Spread the scapula apart. Big breath into the center of your back. Inhale one more time, back up. Deep breath, find space, find ease. Exhale, hips go back, arms go forward. Hinge and fold down and in. Pause for a cycle of breath here. Exhale, contract, draw it in a little bit deeper. Bend those knees, root to rise. Unwind yourself. Let's take an inhale, lift up. Exhale, palms down in towards heart center. Those guys for a moment. Maybe just let the fingertips fall out to the edges of the mat. Mountain pose, strong, grounded, stable. Drop your weight through your heels. Press your toes down into your mat. Feel your roots grow strong. And then let's feel the trunk of your tree getting a little bit taller, a little bit more stable, stronger, all the way up to the tip of your head. Breathe into your heart space here. On the exhale, just soften the shoulders, let them draw away from the ears. All right. Give it a little shake out. Start to bring a little bit more movement. Starting at the top of the mat. Inhale, find length and lift. Big breath in, a little back bend if you like. Exhale, hinge and fold. Sinking breath in, move and halfway lift. Press those thighs back. Reach your crown forward, flat spine. Big breath in. Exhale down. Ribs down towards the thighs. Relax the head, relax the jaw, relax the face. Plank those hands. Take a big step back. Plank pose for a moment. Plank pose, make sure you're not sinking in the shoulders. Press up away from the mat. A little bit of round in the back. Try not to lift your hips up. Press out through the heels, reach forward with the crown. Deep breath in here. Push all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg goes up and back, stacking over those hips. Big breath in here. Stay for the exhale and send that right heel down as much as you can. Square hips back off, left leg up, deep breath in. Exhale, send it all the way forward up towards the hands. Drop the back heel, coming into warrior one. So back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Bend into that front knee. Checking with those hips, they like to follow that back leg. So turn those hips towards the front. If you need to pop your back heel up, you can also do that. Start to drop into your hips, sink into that left knee. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Feel that stretch up through the side body and ribs, sink down into the hips. One more breath. All right, we're gonna take right hand out in front of the face. Left hand's gonna come under for the wrap. Eagle arms, or you can just have that shoulder working. Inhale, lift up, pull up. Elbows away from the body and up. Maybe start to tip back a little bit. Deep breath in here. On the exhale, we're going to bring elbows forward. Reach the crown of your head forward and just bring the elbows in towards the knee. Press into the big toe. Inhale, brings you back up. Moving with breath. Deep breath in. Find space. Fill up. Exhale, we contract. Squeeze it out. One more. Lift up. Deep breath in. We're going to turn the elbows towards the inside of the hips a little bit more. On the exhale, we're going to drop the left shoulder down and in. So adding a little bit of a deeper stretch, only if you like. Breathe into this space. One more cycle. Left inner thigh working here. Press into your heels. Start to draw yourself up with your core strength. Go ahead and release the bar. Turn the back toe. Big step forward. Halfway lift. Thighs back. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Wipe the slate clean. Bend into those knees. Let your reach your eyes all the way up. Deep breath in at the top. Exhale, sit back, chair pose. Drop your tail, squeeze your inner thighs together, activate the tops of your thighs. Big breath in. Exhale, hinging forward. Bend those knees, reach your eyes, one more time. All the way up. Deep breath in. Exhale, palms to the sides. Let the energy settle. The heartbeat settle back into the chest. Getting that rhythm of breath. Notice how the body feels. Quiet the mind. And just continue to follow your inner guide, your breath throughout the movements. Here we go. Inhale back up. Exhale, let it go. Hinge forward. Halfway. Deep breath in. Exhale, contract. Point those hands. Step back. Pause and plank pose. Modified plank if you'd like to drop the knees down. Child's pose anytime. Deep breath in. Push back. That's it. Down dog. Right leg up and back, stack and open. Deep breath into the hips. Square hips off. Deep breath in. Right leg's up, going up. Exhale, send it all the way forward. Push that mat away. Create space for that foot to land. Stop short. Build the foundation so it's nice and strong. Bring yourself up. Warrior one, second side. Check in with the hips. Square them off. Pull that right hip crease back. Sink down. Lift up. One more cycle. Settle on the exhale. Left arm's coming forward. Right arm underneath. Deep breath in and lift up to those elbows. Gentle back bend if you like. Exhale, contract. Inhale. Exhale, round and contract. Nice and easy. Little turn over. Exhale, fold round. Stay inside your breath. Use that core strength. Yourself back up, nice and easy. Undo the bind. Tuck or pop the back heel up. Big step forward. Halfway lift. Wipe the slate clean. And exhale. And you fold down. Press into those heels. Root to rise. All the way back up. And exhale, then long arm. Close the eyes here for a moment. Notice how the body's feeling. Energy bouncing around in the body, so let it settle where we need the most emotionally and physically. Soften the belly, soften the limbs. Easing with each breath. A little bit more grounded, connected on the exhale. Softly let the eyes open. We're going to go through one more cycle before we start to wind one down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, send you down. Halfway. Mid space and length. Exhale, we contract. Hands down. Step it back. Point pose. Push back. Lower down. Left leg up and back. We'll skip the hip opener here. So just a deep breath in. Exhale, send it all the way forward. Drop the back heel this time for warrior two. So set your back foot up so you have a heel to arch in alignment. Your back foot's even with the back edge of the mat. Sink into those hips. Roll the thighs open a little bit. Open in the front of the body. Arms out, front to back. Inhale, lift up in your crown. Exhale, sink down. We're going to take that front hand. We're going to bring it out in front of the face. Do that eagle wrap again underneath. Deep breath in. Lift up in those elbows. Exhale, sink down. Warrior two. Opening the back, strengthening the legs. Deep breath in here. You can stay here. Or if you like, you can start to hinge forward. Moving the fingertips down, stretching through the back, pulling the elbows in towards the belly. Breathe. One more cycle. Stay for the exhale. Contract a little bit more. Press into the feet. Core strength brings you up. Undo the bind. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Flip the top hand. Nice big circle back. Open the side ribs. Sink into that front foot a little bit deeper. Stay for a breath. Exhale. No hands down. Big step back. Deep breath in. Exhale. Lower all over the belly. Untuck the toes. Palms right underneath the shoulders. Pull the elbows into those ribs. Press into the mat and lift up to see the baby cobra. Big breath. Exhale. Tuck the toes, push up through tabletop or the plank, back into down facing dog. Right leg up and back. Exhale, send it forward. Drop that back heel. Warrior two, second side. Check with your alignment. Build the foundation strong. If you're wobbling, you need to reset something, go ahead and do so. Take your time. Lift in your crown. Exhale. Right arm in front of the face. Left arm wraps underneath. Inhale, lift up, deep breath in. Exhale, draw the elbows in. Folding forward, it's okay. Inner thighs working here a little bit as well. One more breath. Contract on that exhale. Core strength. Knees back up. Undo the body. And reverse. Big circle up and back. Open the front ribs. Side rib. Sink down into that lunge. Big breath. Exhale. Windmill hands down. Big step back. Deep breath in the plank. Exhale, lower all the way back to down. Untop those toes. Then slide the elbows forward, coming into the Sphinx pose. Little rock of those hips side to side. Work the toes back. Get as much contact with the lower body as you can. Press into the elbows. Lift up to your heart space. Pull your kneecaps up and in off the mat. Deep breath in. On that exhale, pull your heart space through your shoulders like you're dragging the lower half of your body. Feel the whole low to mid back engage. Big breath. Exhale, look off over the left. Big breath into the right rib. Relax. Exhale back to center. Breathe in. Other side. One more cycle of breath here. Into the left rib. Exhale back to center. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands underneath shoulders. Push yourself all the way back to the child's pose. Option with knees wide, like a smaller child's pose, and a lot of hip work. Nose down in towards the knees, kind of where we started. Wherever you are, settle in, relax, surrender. And the weight of the body with the breath, soften, relax, ground. One more breath. Exhale, right down. Go ahead and start bringing ourselves up. We're going to grab for our bolster. Bring that out right in front of us. And we're going to just turn our body to the side. So you can kind of start with almost as if you were kind of side saddling to where the bolster is, where your hips are. Then you're going to bend your knees and you're going to stack your knees up, kind of coming out at a 45-degree angle. So start with a little seat next to it. Knees are bent, feet are flexed. You have the option here as well. If you need a little bit more lift, you can also add a block or two under the bolster to bring it up towards you a little bit more. If you start to get down there and you need a little help adjusting, I'm happy to come over. But what we're going to do is we're going to keep the hips kind of pressed down. And we're going to take the hands and we're going to start to turn the body and turn your shoulders over towards that bolster. So we're getting a spinal twist by just keeping hips down, turning shoulders, lining sternum up over this as much as you can, and starting to slowly descend down onto the bolster. If you have your gaze towards your knees, it's going to be a little bit less intense. You can start here. We're going to be here for about a minute and a half. If you want to intensify that stretch a little bit more, looking off to the left and bringing your right side of your face is going to add a little bit more intensity in that. Paul, you doing okay? Back kind of flat both. Okay, let's try this back. when that one's kind of, how's that? Yeah, a little bit better. Yeah, there you go. All right, use the shape of the body. It's the weight of the body. You have a little bit more space in the right side ribs, so breathe into that area. And then on the exhale, you're kind of pressing into the earth and you're kind of pulling and twisting up through the spine. So think about twisting from your low back, the base of your spine, up into your shoulders. You're just adding a little bit of a spinal twist. You kind of feel it in the left ribs here. Again, if you want more intensity, you're looking over to the left.
Right.
Right, thank you. Get into some of these deeper twists, stretches. Maybe just starting to lengthen out that breath. Exhale a second or two longer than you inhale. By ease, by compassion. Soften, surrender. Anything you're holding on to in the face, the jaw, the throat, let it go. Let's go one more cycle of breath wherever you are. Everybody exhale at the same time. Then a nice slow inhale. Expand, open, create space. Nice slow contraction with the exhale. Feeling that twist go up into your shoulders. Head is turned off to the side. Bring it back to the center. Best thing to do is kind of walk your hands back a little bit here towards the hips and start to press yourself up nice and slow. Just take a moment here, straighten out the legs. Give a little bit of a shake out. Just do a gentle forward fold just to kind of rebalance everything back out. Deep breath in, exhale. Just drop down nice and easy. Deep breath into the back. Stay for the exhale. One more breath. Nice slow exhale out. Bring yourself back up nice and slow. The best thing to do is you kind of just turn yourself around over to the other side. Hip right alongside. Bend the knees, kind of stacking them up. Feet are flexed there. Yeah, add the blocks if you like. One side is definitely going to be a little bit different. And then before you start to descend down, press into your hands, lift up through your chest, lift up through the crown of your head, create length, and then start to walk yourself forward, descending down. Nice and slow, not just the crown of the head there. If you're looking off toward your feet, it's going to be less intense. I like to kind of start there and then add the intensity looking back off the other direction if you like. Soften the belly. Soften the rib cage. As we deepen the breath, not trying to use too much external force there. Just letting that breath travel into those spaces we don't normally pay attention to. Getting down into the kidneys, into the low back. Nice and slow, feel the ease come into the body with the breath. inflating through the ribs. Diaphragm acts like a little parachute that inflates on the inhale. And then a nice slow contraction. Feel the twist go up into the shoulders. Feel the weight of your body sink in a little bit more. Let's go 2 more breaths just like that. One more second, nice and slow. We can go on that exhale. Start with the crown of your head. So we untwist from the top down, and then head back to neutral. Walk the hand back. Yourself back up. But take those legs out long. Let's do a little windshield wiper here. So take the legs nice and wide, roll shoulders back, lean back onto your tail, and then just a gentle rock side to side. Open up the legs. Let the knees come down again. Side to side. Back to center. Have a block underneath your bolster. Go ahead and remove that. We're going to go ahead and come onto the back. Take your bolster just right up against your low back. Take the legs out in front of you and have the knees bent, give you a little bit more stability. Oh, you guys can turn around towards me. Sorry. I don't know how you got to twist it around. All right. Start to lower down onto your elbows. And then just come onto the bolster, opening up your chest. Feel really nice. Again, knees bent, heels down. That's going to definitely take a little bit of pressure off the back. If it's okay, maybe extending the legs out in front of you long. Just let your shoulders kind of roll over the edges of the bolster. Soften the belly here. Breathe into the chest. Breathe into the ribs. Nice, slow exhale. Let's go a few cycles just like that. Let's go one more cycle wherever you are. Stay for that exhale all the way to the very bottom. Empty out the belly. So press into the elbows, press into the forearms and the palms. Best thing you can kind of do here is you can like roll yourself off to one side. You start to press in, you might have a little bit more tension on the back as you lift up through the head. So roll off to maybe left or right side, press into that arm, start to bring yourself back up. You're gonna bend the knees here, just a little bit of counter stretch to that back knee. So go ahead and grab for underneath the thighs, maybe grab for shins, take a big inhale. Then on the exhale, just draw the nose in towards the knees, maybe wrapping around. Relax the ribs, relax the back, soften here. Counter stretch to that heart open. One more cycle. So let it over. Go ahead and take that bolster. going to bring it around underneath the low back here, coming into a little bridge series. So back onto your back. Slide the bolster underneath your low back. You can also do this with a block. You'll have a bolster at home. You want to work those heels back towards your glutes as much as you can. So kind of inch your heels back towards, if you can kind of connect with that bolster. Right. Arms can be out to a T. Arms can be up overhead. Wherever you are, press into your heels. Start to lift up through your hips. Squeeze and pull that tailbone up and in as you squeeze those inner thighs together. A little bit more. Arms can go back up overhead, open up through the chest a little bit. Deep breath in here. Exhale, relax. Hips go down. Let's go ahead and take the right leg out long. We're going to pull the left knee in towards you. Just as we were doing before, pause on the inhale, relax. On the exhale, start to squeeze that left knee in towards the chest and the mouth. Getting a nice little stretch here on the low back at the same time. If at any point you're feeling any pinching, kind of back off a little bit, go back to knees bent. You're just relaxing the bolster. One more breath here. Exhale, release. Both knees bend. Back into bridge. Inhale, lift up through those hips. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Breathe into the belly. Stay for the exhale. One more round. Exhale, lower the hips. Left leg goes long. Right knee comes up. Nice big breath in here. Exhale, draw the left knee in. Feeling that stretch in the low back as you extend out through that left leg. One more cycle here. Nice slow exhale. Squeeze in, contract. Release and let go. Heels come back and in. Arms out to a T here. You can kind of reposition the bolster if you need to a little bit, just right underneath the hip point. We're just going to take the legs up to the sky. So you might need to readjust. You don't want it totally on, the full low back. It's a little bit more on the hips and the tailbone. Extend legs up and out. Nestle down your shoulder blades. Press up and out through those heels. Flex the toes back down toward you. Flex the toes up to the ceiling. And back and forth. Stay here, or if you like, maybe grabbing for the backs of your thighs and letting the legs start to part. Keep the feet active, so press out through the heels. Breathe into the inner thighs. Slow exhale out. That's big inhale in through the nose, all the way into the lowest part of your belly here. Get to the top of the inhale, hold the breath. Take one more sip of air in, and then exhale. Let it all go. Let's do that one more time. Exhale everything out. Nice slow inhale, all the way into the belly. Hold the breath at the top. Sip of air in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, let go. Legs back up towards each other. Stay here, or if you like, bring heels towards each other, soles of feet together, coming into a little reclined Supta Baddha Konasana. Grabbing for ankles, pulling heels in towards the pelvis and a mouth that's comfortable. Soften those inner thighs. One more time with that cycle of breath. In through the nose, down into the pelvis. Hold the breath. Sip of air in. Nice, slow exhale out. Empty everything out. One more of those, just like that. Inhale in. Retain the breath. Sip of air in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Let the legs relax here. You can go ahead and lift up the hips. If you like for your Shavasana, you can just let the bolster come down right underneath the backs of the thighs. It's a really nice release to the low back and electric support. So they're just right underneath the thighs. Feet can go long here. Any other option that calls to you, any other shape, go ahead and take that. Just be here for a few moments. Softening, relaxing, releasing any other grip you might be holding in the body. Just do a body scan through the face, muscles around the eyes, the back of the jaw. Relax the throat through the collarbones, into the chest and heart space, into those outer ribs. Soften the back. Stay here for a few final moments before we go back into our busy days, our busy life. Just celebrating the fact that there is no other moment other than the one you're living and breathing right now. Allow me to call you back next time. All right, yogis, let's begin to deepen the breath and welcome sensation back into the body. Wiggle fingers and toes. Wiggle the jaw. Moisten the lips. Raise the eyebrows. Any just gentle movement. Taking a little full body stretch by reaching those fingertips up and back. Open up through the chest. Nice big breath in here. Exhale, just let everything go. If you have that bolster, you can slide it out from underneath the legs. Roll yourself off to one side. Pause with a hand on the earth connection for a moment. Keep the gaze soft, your eyes closed as you make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Just feel the bones stack up here. Feel the body come into alignment. The head over the heart over the hips. Feel that weight in the root. Feel that lift in your crown. Feel that breath connecting the two.
So inhale those fingertips out, up to touch. Deep breath at the top. Fill up. Exhale, draw that energy down into your heart space. Pause and thank yourself for doing the best thing you can do. Participate in your own self-healing, self-exploration, and self-care. And it's truly an honor for me to guide you every week in that practice. From my heart to yours, you all have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining me in the studio. Thank you for joining me on Zoom. Namaste. Thank you. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.